For me, as a young Chinese American deeply interested in history, the Chinese Exclusion Act from 1882 to 1943 was not just some worksheet in history class. It is a record of the dark pages of American history that want us to never allow ethnic exclusion from happening again. Hello everyone, my name is Albert Hao and I'm a freshman at Aragon High School. Today I'll be talking about the current presidential administration's travel ban in comparison to previous exclusions of America, as well as the ban's long-term impacts it will have on our country and our lives. President Trump signed his controversial travel ban on January 27th. To summarize, the ban bars citizens from a number of predominantly Muslim countries from entering the United States. The main purpose of this ban is to try to protect American citizens from further terror attacks. Let's take a look at immigration exclusion in the past. The first case of discrimination were against Chinese immigrants. Following a series of economic crises in Western America in the late 1800s, many Americans started developing racist attitudes towards Chinese immigrants that were purportedly stealing their jobs. This prejudice eventually led to the passing of the Chinese Exclusion Act in 1882, which prohibited the immigration of Chinese laborers for the next 10 years. To combat this inequality, Chinese immigrants in the United States started speaking out and formed the CCBA, or the Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association. The CCBA provided money and lodging for its immigrants, as well as bringing many cases up to the Supreme Court. By collectively taking a stand, this group of people was able to help scores of immigrants across America. Around 1929, a new ethnic target emerged, the Mexican population in the United States. There were more claims that these immigrants were stealing American jobs, so between 1929 and 1936, anywhere from 500,000 to 2 million people were deported in what was called the Mexican repatriation. Outrage over this injustice led House Representatives Solis and Gutierrez to call on a commission to study the issue, as well as pressuring the government to apologize. The Chinese exclusion and the Mexican repatriation were both examples of ethnic targets that were targeted in America's history. Now let's take a look at the current situation. Trump's travel ban has affected some 90,000 people who are detained and held against their will. Although the ban intends to prevent further terror attacks, it is reminiscent of earlier segregating policies. Some effects that this ban has on America are non-acceptance and ill will in the international community. World leaders like Germany's Chancellor Angela Merkel and England's Prime Minister Theresa May have condemned the action, calling it shameful and wrong. Dissension domestically has also occurred. Democrats and Republicans alike have joined forces to combat the ban. Effects on the lives of Americans are just as devastating. Many are separated from their families. College students are torn between their future degrees and their careers, or their families abroad. To summarize, although the ban is different than previous ethnic exclusions in that it tries to prevent terror attacks rather than giving employment to Americans, it is all the same that the ban ethnically prevents these immigrants from coming to the United States. During World War II, while America was interning the Japanese, more serious actions were being taken in Germany. German activist and pastor Martin Niemöller describes Germany's situation in his poem, but also highlights today's situation with the travel ban. First, they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. This poem points to the inherent responsibility that we humans have to stand up, to defend, and to take action against what is unjust. Just because these immigrants may not look, speak, or think the same as we do, does not mean they deserve this treatment. If you believe that this ban is injustice, rise up and take a stand. If you believe that we should speak out for those who aren't stealing our jobs but creating them, take a stand. And if you believe in doing the right thing, take a stand. Thank you.